So we have the deputy governor of the Bank of Canada, Carolyn Rogers. Carolyn Rogers will say some things that are pretty smart. Like she said, Canada's productivity is terrible. We got to break the glass. It's an emergency. And she's right. We have terrible productivity in Canada. Listen, productivity is not you go out and work harder per hour. That's not it at all. Productivity is research, efficiency, finding new ways to do things that are faster and produce things better, quicker, cheaper. It's more about process and improvements and invention than it is about anybody working harder. That's not what it's about. When you hear it, you think that, but that's not it. And she's dead right. Our companies in Canada are investing less and less and less on research and development, invention, and improvement than they did 5 years ago because times are tough in Canada and they're trying to hoard resources and our taxes are too high. Corporate taxes are too high. Everybody's taxes are too high. So she said some smart. She said something today. She came out, not today, yesterday. Came out yesterday and said, hey, we do need more banks. She talks about something that's a pretty simple idea, that our banks have a monopoly. Now, when there's 6 of them, you call it an oligarchy, but it's kind of a monopolistic approach. There's a small number of banks for a large number of people. Like there's 6 big banks. In Australia, there's like 3 or 4, okay? I mean, it's in the States, there's, 3,800 banks. I mean, don't get me wrong, the top 10 or 12 dominate. They just dominate. But there's still a ton of banks doing specialized stuff. I realize it's 10 times bigger, but it has like many times more banks. So should we have more banks? All right. Okay, that's fine. Have more banks, but how? How do you do it? It's almost impossible to start a bank in Canada. Like, it's so hard. And I actually know people who've done it or tried to do it or are still doing it right now or trying to fix one, okay? I know them personally, okay? It's hard. It's hard as hell, okay? There's a lot of regulation, which there should be. You don't want your money going astray. You don't want to create a problem. You need solid regulation. But the real reason that there's 6 banks in Canada that do 84%, they touch 84% of all financial transactions. Sometimes you'll say, well, no, I'm using the credit union, but maybe the credit union borrowed some money from the bank to help out with that day's running of the credit union. I mean, you seriously, the banks are everywhere. They have their hand in everything, the 6 big banks, okay? So I'm not kidding. 84% of all financial transactions, somehow a bank touches, all right? So is the answer more banks, more foreign banks? Should we bring in some American banks, okay? I got news for you. The American banks don't want to come. I know that sounds silly. I mean, wait a minute. They got great big banks there. They could come here. They could build out. Yeah, but is it a good investment? If you're a big bank, if you're JP Morgan, is it a good investment? It's going to be an uphill climb. It's going to be, the products, some of the product suites are very different. You got to start from zero. If you want to be national, you got to have a whole different language, which they're not used to. You got to have French. There's a lot going on here, okay? And it's not that big a market. If you're JP Morgan, wouldn't you want to open a bank in another market that has bigger potential, lower taxes, less regulation? And if you actually talk to JP Morgan, they would say, these bastards in Canada are pretty well banked. They're doing good, those banks. The biggest mortgage company in the world came to Canada, Rocket Mortgage, biggest company in the world, huge in the United States, opened up in Canada, total fucking flop, just walked away. That's it. Okay. Why? Because people are used to our way of doing business. They're used to our banks dominating in mortgages. They're used to our banks have great control over capital markets in Canada. It didn't make any sense to start to pour money to lend because, believe it or not, our rates are lower. Yeah. Our rates are all lower than the U.S. Yes, they have 25 and 30 year, but our 5-year rates are, they're 2% less than U.S. rates. That's big. They're 30% less, okay? So why would you push American money into Canada to make less money on the American that you had to borrow in America. It makes no sense at all. I'm oversimplifying like crazy, but I'm telling the truth. The rocket mortgage thing, they just walked away. They just said, we can't make any money in Canada. Pointless. Their banks control the mortgage business, okay? So the people have tried. They've tried. They have tried and failed because our banks are whatever we don't like about it. We have a love-hate relationship with banks. You're always mad at your bank for something they didn't do right that you wanted them to do, and then eventually, if you want a mortgage or you want a loan or you want a car loan, and if they give you it, you think, oh, I like you guys now again. But yeah, love-hate always with financial institutions. But the real story is, could we have open banking? Could we have open banking? Could we make it much, much easier to move money between institutions, much faster, much more efficient? Could be done in a blink of an eye. It could be made so easy. There's no cost associated with it. Yes, the answer is yes. And if you do that, you have the growth of non-banks and financial services. You have Wealthsimple, okay? You have other non-bank entities who can grow out because it's easy to move money around. So can we do that? Absolutely, yes, we can do that. Do you know how long we've been hearing about that? I've been hearing about it for 20 damn years, okay? It's gotten a little bit better, but there's no breakthrough. So, hey, Carolyn Rogers, go talk to the Minister of Finance. Go talk to Pierre Bubbles Champagne, okay? And say, let's do this. Let's make open banking real, simple, and aggressively pursue it. Let's do it. Let's actually do something. Just do something. Finance Minister Champagne, just do something, okay? So you want to do this, let's do it. Let's make it effortless to move money between banks. Let's make it secure and yet super easy, no delays, no extra fees, just move the money, make it easy to do. And then we'd actually have some more homegrown non-bank financial services that could grow and may become a bank someday, okay? So, because we're not going to have a bunch of Asian banks come here and open up and become extremely competitive and pour billions of dollars into the rollout in Canada. Not going to happen. We're not going to have the Americans could come any day. They choose not to. We could improve our rules a little to maintain sovereign security of the capital, but we can't improve them a ton. And to be honest with you, the Americans show no interest in coming. You know, Trump talks about it. We could make it easier. But if we made it easier, they still may not come. They still may not, I can make more money just opening something new in California. I make more money just by improving my situation there than I could in Canada. Screw it. There's efficiencies to being an expert at your own country, okay? European banks, they don't want to come. They have no interest in it whatsoever, okay? Again, we have divergent languages, divergent products, divergent traditions. Look, let's make it simple. Carolyn Rogers, you're right. Bad to have an oligarchy in banks, but the right answer is fully open banking. Move the money around just like that.